In coaching thousands of people and being next to Andy Elliott for the last 5 years, I compiled a list that I know if you did these things, you would be the best in the world. Success is about self-mastery. You could be in your head right now and you might not have the eyeballs that I have, and I can see money all around you, and you're over here your leads in your company, but I'll pick up that phone, and because my perspective is on fire, because I'm grateful for my life, because I'm not sitting in the shit and I'm not thinking about the problems, I'm looking for the solutions, people want to do business with me. Number one thing that you're going to need to know, you're going to have to go to bed tired and wake up hungry. Everything in life goes to zero at night. The top producers understand this. If you go to bed on a win, you're gonna wake up with a loss. Some of you guys go to bed and you're full. You've been making money, or you have a big commission, or you finally have a good month, and then what happens? You go right back to the old life, the old you, the old money, the old habits. Or you go get wins in the gym for 6 months, and then all of a sudden, you slowly start to conform. You slowly start to go back to the person that you hated. You gotta make a decision every day, each day, to exhaust maximum effort. I want everybody to say that after me. Maximum effort, maximum. But here's what I'll tell you about success. It's gonna be exhausting. And if you're not exhausted and you're well rested, you're not one of us. There's no way if you're going to bed. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. In the car business, I thought because I was a top producer, and there's many things that I'm going to point out that I did wrong in these scenarios, but I thought that since I literally thought that I had like a sleeping problem, like sleep apnea or whatever the hell that is, where you can't go to sleep. Dude, the truth is when I started working for Andy, if I sit in this chair for a second, I could fall asleep. You know why? Because I'm exhausted all the time. And you know what? I'm happy about it because I'm chasing my dream. I know that I'm working for a mission, a purpose, and at times, I thought I was working hard in the car business. When I started to really break records and kick ass and cash big paychecks, Andy told me, it's not about the hours at the dealership that you're working, Evan. It's about the time inside of those hours that you're working. That one little thing changed my life. He said, dude, listen, you work 12 hours a day. I don't get that you're not a hard worker. I don't get that you work 6 days a week. I get it, you work 6 days a week. But if I literally started looking at the time that you work, do you really work hard? I'll tell you one of Andy's superpowers. Andy literally operates like he's broke at all times. Now, he set up a couple of systems. The truth is Andy doesn't know how much money he has. Maybe he does. I don't think he does because I've never literally heard him talk about money. His wife started, we used to go to these dealerships like 3-4 years ago. We'd travel all around the world, and Ian and I would be the guys with them all the time. Like we would just go everywhere with them. And I remember we were in Brooklyn, New York, and we were training a dealership, and we went over to Walgreens, and we would just, anytime Andy was there, we would just let Andy pay. Andy would pay for anything. Like he didn't care. He thinks money is video game points. That's how he qualifies it. Well, we went to Walgreens and we spent like $400 at Walgreens on protein shakes, on snacks, on protein bars. I remember getting back to the Lions Den and Jackie had a card ready for him. And it was like one of these little prepaid cards. Now that's all Andy carries. He has about $1,000 to his name on what he knows. You know, but Jackie always says that Andy works the best when he feels like his back is against the wall. So I did the same thing. I take all the money out of my checking account. When I get paid, none of it comes to me. I get a certain amount to live on. I put $1,000 on my Apple Cash, so that way I'm not spending a bunch of money, and I never need to know. I told my wife, don't tell me how much money we have. I don't want to know. I want to operate with a feeling like I'm broke because I know when you start to make money, this like entitlement or this ego or this complacency, it's like mediocrity starts to freaking crawl all over you, okay? So think about that for a second. I wanna ask you a question. Are you the cheetah or are you the turtle? Are you the person that when you walk into your business, everybody's like, dude, that guy sets the pace, he sets the standard? Are you? Because I know the cheetahs that are in the room. I can tell in some of your eyes that you're not the cheetah and you are the turtle. I can tell it. I can see the self-doubt. The truth is you need to wake up. You need to start taking action. You need to take action. At midnight, every night, everything resets. Write that down. Everything resets. Everything resets. I don't care what you did yesterday. I care what you did today. You wake up at 0 and you start to fight again, okay? Are you going to bed tired? Are you waking up hungry every single day? Okay, there's gonna come a time, and I want you guys to remember this, and I want you guys to write this down. There's gonna come a time where winter asks what you did all spring. Winter is gonna ask you what you did all spring and summer. Think about that for a second. What'd you do? Were you prospecting? Were you fired up? Were you shaking hands? Or were you kind of sitting around? And now winter's here and the crops aren't planted, you didn't harvest anything, and so you're hungry. You might have the best idea for a business in the world. I don't care about your idea. I care about what action you're taking, okay? As a coach, as a student, as a mentor, as a mentee, have your words lost value because you're not freaking hungry anymore. I can't tell my team, okay, Andy's in Dubai right now. My brother and I run the show at the Elliott Group. I can't tell my team to be hungry if I don't get off this call with you guys and go kick ass. I can't do it. So right when I get off this call with you guys, I'm gonna go show them what it looks like to be hungry. Not by talking about it, by getting on the phone. And I'm gonna be closing some of you guys, just so you know. So if you get a call from me, just say yes and let's roll, baby. Let's say yes and let's roll. It's down, number 2. Gosh, this is one of the most critical keys that I did not learn until I was 29 years old. Mastery versus cotton candy, okay? Cotton candy makes you feel good. Mastery does not make you feel good. I'm gonna be honest with you. To become a master is gonna take 10,000 hours. You guys know the 10,000 hour rule? 10,000 hours. I want you to write this down. Chase the mentor over the money. Chase the mentor over the money. I didn't do any of that. I'll be honest with you guys. Early on, when I became really good at car sales, I dabbled. I was a dabbler, but I was very talented and I had a chip on my shoulder. I was a hard worker. It was not hard to kick everybody's ass in my state. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I didn't even know that I was doing it until about 2-3 years in, and I started to see the numbers and everybody started to say, dude, you're like 3 years number one, nobody's beat you, 4 years number one, 5 years, 6 years. I'm like, what? Are you? And then I started to own it, and it became my identity. But I invested early on into some Grant Cardone books. I invested early on in some of his programs. So I was always interested in learning. I wasn't interested in learning growing up because I was always the kid that got in trouble. My energy was always like in the wrong places, girls, things. I'm like, well, I don't want to learn, dude. I want to go out. I want to ditch class and do. I didn't put my energy in the right spots. But my teachers weren't good at painting pictures and telling me stories on how they weren't good salespeople, on telling me why this would apply to me in the future. Okay? Later on, when I started to learn things that applied to something I was passionate about, like sales, I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. I can't afford not to know this. But I was still a dabbler, but I became really good. Now, if I could go back over it again, I would do whatever it takes to get around mentors that have the life that I want. And that I know that are still hungry, because I don't want some guy telling me what he did 25 years ago. I want somebody saying, hey, how'd you make $1 million last year? How'd you do this? How'd you make 250? Where were you? Okay, 3 years ago, if you were making 200 grand, can you tell me I'm in that position now? How do I go to this next level? Hey, I'm a leader. I've got 10 people on my team. You've got a team of 100 on your payroll. How do I get to that? What does that look like? But tell me what you would have did in my situation. Those are good questions. Those are really good questions. But I want you to think about this for a second, because most people don't realize the power is in the action. I want you guys to write this down. Write this down. Most successful people stick to one craft and refine it over time. Okay? The power is in the action. It's not in the idea. I wanted to start to learn real estate and investing and passive income and all this shit that I was seeing online. And Andy's like, and everybody makes it seem like you can earn 40, you can buy 187 ATMs and all of a sudden now you're gonna be successful. It takes no effort to run it, all this crazy shit. So, by the way, most of that's BS. But I was just diving deep into it. But I wasn't even $1 million salesperson yet. And Andy came and sat next, and I was like, hey, what do you guys do on real estate? What's your real estate strategy? What's your tax rate? What is this? What is this? And he said, bro, can I explain something to you? Do you believe that the earning potential in this company could 100% change your life? Do you believe you could earn 2 or 3 times what you're earning now? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, why don't you become really great why don't you become unstoppable at sales? And then once you become unstoppable at sales, I'll teach you real estate. Why don't you become unstoppable in sales? And then once your money's making so much money, you'll be forced to get a coach that you can pay big money to that'll teach you everything he needs to know. But he's like, you don't understand the 2 things that you need to know first, which is sales and leadership. Once you've learned those and you've mastered those, Evan, swear to God, you will be forced, because you will be making so much money that you'll be forced to have to learn these other things. But I was all over the place. And I didn't even realize that I was like stuck in the Instagram webs and all this stuff. I'm challenging you right now. If you can learn influence, and you can learn mastery, and you can master yourself, and you can learn sales where you can jump on the phone, you could cold call, you could prospect at a very high level, all of the other stuff will make sense, you know? And then once I learned sales, you can ask my team. I wasn't the best leader a couple of years ago. Honestly, it took some very large wake-up calls and getting called out in meetings on some of the bad habits that I had. Once I had some of these wake-up calls that, man, I'm not the leader that I need to be, then I started studying leadership. Once I felt like I was the best in the company at sales. Then I'm like, how do I produce more of me? And I'm like, I have to start practicing for the job ahead, which was like, what do I have to do in order to create more value that Andy and Jackie are gonna see? For a couple of years, I was operating as if I was already this person that you see today. I want you to understand a key concept of this, okay? Write this down. Here's a cycle that people go through. Big time people start to stop this cycle. So when we're talking about mastery versus cotton candy, big time people understand that everybody starts with good intentions and then they fall off the wagon and then they feel guilty. Okay? Big time people start to understand that once they make the commitment, they stick to it. Understand this. Some of you guys go through this guilt and this shame and all this shit in your mind specifically because you committed to something and then you didn't take enough action and now you're guilty. You want to eliminate all that? Just start taking the action, the daily action, okay? The power is in taking action. I know that the people that have been close to us for the last couple of years are earning double, triple the money. But the truth is I also have people that start and then they stop getting coaching in 10 days. Or I've had people pay large sums of money and after 2 or 3 months or 6 months, they stop the coaching and they feel like they know enough to go out and do it on their own, which is completely crazy to me because I know here's the rule. Okay, here's the rule. I want you guys to write this down. First, you watch and master, then you practice what they do, then you become the master. And here's how mastery works. Okay, so let me say that again. First, you watch the master, then you practice what they do. Then you become the master. And here's the rule for it. Brandon, here's the rule for it. 4 to 7 years of watching. 4 to 7 years of watching. Here's the truth. Most people in this generation, they don't want to do that. They want microwavable success. There are people that win shit very quickly, but most of the people that you really look up to that have a big life on the internet, you think that they won in 2 years? You think that they won in 5 years? You think that they won in 10? See, you guys are seeing me, I'm 35 years old. I'm on year 17 of sales, 16, probably 5 in the big leagues, probably 10 in the amateurs. And in the amateurs, I still was one of the best. But I wasn't nearly living up to my potential because I didn't understand the rules of the game. Okay? So understand, I'm giving you the rules of the game. 4 to 7 years of watching. I've been watching Andy for about 5 years now. I understand that when I look at Andy's life, I feel like I'm 2 or 3 years behind him because I'm like watching how I watch the play that he runs and then I run it. 4 to 7 years of practicing and then 4 to 7 years of becoming. Stop thinking like some of these people that are interested in getting success like very quickly. Be a person that's not interested. They're committed. There's two totally different things. Andy would always tell us this. People would say, oh, hey, Andy, I want to become one of the best car salesmen. I'm really, they'd be on a phone call with him and they'd say, oh yeah, I'm interested in how you broke these records, how you did this. And Andy would say, hey, whoa. Hey, are you interested or are you committed? There's a big difference, dude. You gotta understand, Stu, interested people never become legends. They never do something crazy. There's never a statue built after them. It's nothing. And by the way, I'm just being honest with you guys too. You can make a couple $100,000 being interested. I'm asking you, do you want to go run some businesses? Do you want to be the best in your industry? If you want to be the best, I would suggest that you look at your morning routine. I would suggest that you look at your weekend routine. Are you reviving yourself? Are you filling back up? Are you escaping, drinking, hanging out, partying? I don't do any of that stuff. I haven't for 5 years. Okay, so some of you guys, that might be the thing that's creeping in, that's stopping your progress. Okay, I want you guys to ask yourself this: are you treating success like mastery right now, or are you treating it like cotton candy? Are you doing the things that feel good, or are you doing the things that you know that needs to be done? Are you working your sales system? Are you prospecting? Are you doing the follow-up? Are you doing the work? All the prospecting, the follow-up, the new money, the stuff that people don't want to do. Okay, you got to work your sales system, dude. Like, listen, man, every day that I come in here from 9 to 11 after this call, I'm prospecting. Every day from 5 to 7 p.m., I'm sending cold messages out, emails. Nothing ever changes. You guys know Ryan Serhant? Anybody know Ryan Serhant? Raise your hand. Man, he's one of the most famous real estate agents in the world. I mean, I've gotten training and coaching by him because I loved how he built his brand, and I was always learning from people in different industries. And he says, Evan, still to this day, I send out 15 cold emails to the billionaires to random billionaires. I mean, guys, he sells $100 million properties. He's like, every single day, I still send out 15 cold emails to millionaires and billionaires. I'm like, you guys got to understand, this guy has hundreds of agents underneath him. I mean, they do several $1 billion in sales. This is the CEO of a company still generating revenue. Some of you guys that run companies, you won't do any of that stuff. You're like, that's my sales team's job. Okay, cool. How the hell are you going to teach people if you're not still out there doing the work? I'm not asking you to be a full-blown salesperson if you're a general manager on this call, but I am asking you to still stay in the fight, still get on the phone, still motivate your team. You know, and by the way, if you're the future leader in the company, you should probably be doing those things. Hey guys, it's the Macklin Twins. Let's go. Hey guys, if you have any questions at all, we want you to text us. Our phone number is 480-780-2203, and one of us will get back to you. We got your back for life. Let's get back to the video. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Number 3, long obedience in the same direction. Here's the biggest key that you have to understand this. Big time producers don't have short-term obedience in multiple directions. Okay? Okay, if you're working in a company right now and you already have a plan B on how this isn't gonna work, and you're like thinking about other shit, and you're like, oh, you know, like, oh, I'll go sell solar, I'll go do this. It's like, dude, you already lost, bro. You're already done. Guys like me will kick your ass every single step of the way because, like, I'm so committed. There's no plan B. I gotta figure this out. Okay? Multiple directions, like multiple things. I told you guys how I was like trying to learn all this shit. It's like, I just needed to learn me. I needed to learn how to influence, persuade, lead, motivate, inspire people. Like, I needed to learn how to do those things. I wasn't good at those things. Okay? I want you to write this down. Stay locked in on your primary skill. Primary skills are refined. They're refined. You have to constantly put in repetition on them. They're constantly built every single day. Think about Andy Elliott's primary skill. What is it? Andy's primary skill is sales. His primary skill is selling. He's multiplied those skills into other areas, but its foundation is selling. Okay? Now, he's refined these skills so much that they're in deep demand that you build networks of people that are coming to you for that skill. My primary skill is also sales. My secondary skill is I inner engineer people to want to go get more. I inspire a contagious confidence in other people to want to change things in their life. That's coaching. That's my secondary skill. My primary skill is refined because I've created my foundation on selling. Okay? I have to get people to buy into wanting to do more. But I want you guys to write this down. You have to become a specialist versus a generalist. Specialists, they know it. They spent thousands of hours on these skills. When you look at them in their eye, they're confident, they show up, they get it, they get the job done. They're clear on their goals, they're clear on their targets, and they know how to get them, and they hit their targets every single month. Some of you guys right now, you want to be great. I know that you want to be great, but you haven't put in the time and the effort that it's going to take to be a top producer. That's the truth. Okay, the truth is if you see your sales months going like this, you're a generalist. And the generalist, you might be a generalist in your mindset. You might be a generalist on your skill set. You might be a generalist on your habits. You need to figure out a way to go pro. Everybody say go pro. Go pro. Okay, what's that gonna take? That's gonna take daily disciplines. Okay, I wanna ask you guys a question real quick, and I want everybody to answer it in their head. Okay, do you believe in your own future? Where does it reside? Where does your future reside? Okay, guys, listen. Your future resides in your mind. Your future, the question isn't about like, do you believe in it? It's, do you have the discipline to get it done? Will you master yourself? Will you break the chains of bad habits? Will you become a person that a transition person that transitions into the next life that kills off the old them? The old you is getting you the results that you have now. So you have to become this person that can transition and step away from the old self and become the new self. But the truth is you're never gonna become that person until you start getting out there, putting yourself out there and practicing. Okay, what will happen once you do this? You will start to circulate to the world. I want you guys to become people of interest, people that other people will drive 5 states past a similar store, and now all of a sudden they're coming to you, your company, your business, because you're so damn interesting that you walk in a room, you're so confident in yourself, what you do, your habits, your mindset, that they'll pay any dollar, they'll pay a premium just to be around you. The service, the deal's the same. The car, the trailer, whatever, the RV, the solar panel, it's the same. But something is different. They met you. And that's the difference that most sales companies don't talk about. They're like, hey, here's the question, answer it with this. Let me have you, I'm gonna have 19 different, what if questions, and we're gonna go through this whole rabbit hole of shit. The truth is if they don't feel the frequency and they don't feel the vibe and this level of thinking with you, they're never gonna wanna do business with you. Doesn't matter how many cool little slick ass questions you have in word tracks. That's why personal development is so critical. It's so crazy when you meet a professional versus an amateur. I want you guys to write this word down. Professional versus amateur, okay? What is the one skill that you're gonna stick to for years? And then are you working on becoming a specialist or generalist? I mean, listen guys, I meet different people that make different amounts of money all the time. It's so crazy that when I meet somebody that's a pro, we have similar routines. We have similar habits. We had a guy that was in the office the other day, high level insurance guy, making really big money. And the guy walks in, and he's the best dressed. I mean, his suit was impeccable. His like little cufflinks or whatever, collar things, said his little name on them. It's like, that was really cool. I was talking to the guy and he's like, dude, every single day I do the same thing. Every single day I do this. I get to the gym at the same time, 5 a.m. I do the same habits. I do the same routines. And then when I get to the office, 8:30 meeting, 9 a.m. to 11, I'm prospecting. I'm doing the XYZ. I'm doing lunch at a specific time. My follow-up. I'm handling problems that don't need attention at the beginning of the day at lunchtime or, in the afternoon. My stuff is just set up for success. The truth is some of us aren't setting ourselves up for success. So we need to start to think about that. Do we get into the office? Are we ready to produce revenue? Are we ready to prospect? Are we ready to go? Or are we like keeping ourselves busy so we're feeling like we're doing something, but we're truly not doing shit to produce revenue? You should write this one down, the next one. Chop wood and carry water. I think it was Phil Jackson that said that. Big time people produce every single day, even when they don't feel like it, okay? Look, man, truth is most of the reasons why you're not winning at the level that you want to win at is because you follow your little bitch-ass feelings every single chance you get. Your feelings override your decision making. So I want you to write this down. Success is about discipline, guys. Discipline. 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 Some of us, that needs to be our word for the year. I want you to write this down. Amateurs listen to their feelings. Professionals don't. Professionals don't care about their feelings, man. We know it's a lie. If you're spiritual, you know that the devil's gonna try to come kill, steal, and destroy. You know he's gonna tell you all this bullshit. You know he's gonna get you off your game. Dude, you gotta be like, no, not today. I know what to do, okay? You have to keep prospecting. You have to follow up. You have to keep delivering results every single day. Bro, I've been doing this for 15 years. And I know if I just stay out of my own way, work the sales system, prospect, follow up relentlessly, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. We could dumb down sales. If most of you guys just took more action in those areas, you'd win. There was a guy on here. Hold on. Where is he at? There's Sam. Sam, come off of mute for a second. Sam, how's prospecting been going for you, Sam?
Not the best.
Why?
Not been doing enough of it.
Sam, remember when we talked last and your biggest hole in creating the life that you want for your beautiful family was what?
Sorry, repeat that, pal.
Remember when we last talked, your biggest hole in your game was doing the work. You have an incredible idea. You have a great business, But your business is failing because of why?
Not taking enough action on the needle.
And here you sit and you tell me again that you're not prospecting. Who's suffering from you not prospecting, Sam?
Everybody around me.
Who? Name them.
Danielle, my dad.
Your dad. What's wrong with your dad right now?
He's got dementia.
Okay, and what do you want to do with your dad?
Give him the care that he needs.
Yeah, but then your lazy ass sits there and you don't prospect, and then you jump on calls like this, and then when you get off of it, you're not going to prospect. Dude, that's why I'm different than you. Because if I was in your situation, there'd be no way in hell I would get on a call like this and then get off and go be the same exact person. That's why many of you guys aren't top producers, because you'll get the information, I'll give you the information, I'll pour out my heart, and then Sam, you're gonna go right back to the same life, the same shit, the same credit card debt, when all it takes is action and follow up and doing the work. But you tell people every day all this stuff that you want to do, and then you don't do it. You're losing value in your family, with your friends. They're going to stop believing all the dreams and the aspirations and the goals and the ambitions that you keep throwing out there. Stop. Just shut up. Go be the same, and then don't do anything else the same, and just let's see how your life plays out in 2 years. You want to do that, Sam? I'm sick of people that say they want the life and then they don't want it, but they have people counting on them. Okay, you can't be that person. Guys, some of you don't realize that losing these little losses that you're stacking up will be unbearable in the future for your families, for yourself. You might think it's a little loss, but if you keep stacking these little losses up, at one point you won't be able to come back from them. Or it's going to be a nasty comeback and you're going to dig yourself in the hole. You can't afford to keep doing the same shit. You got to step up to the plate, man up, be an adult, and actually go out there and take your industry seriously. If somebody hands you a check, especially if you're working for a company, I'm an entrepreneur in a company. When Andy hands me a check for anything, I am a professional. I am a professional. I am like a professional athlete. If you hand me a check, I better show up and I better give it all that I have. But the truth is most of you guys you got to chop the wood and carry the water. Most of the time when I see people losing, it's because they're playing defense and not offense. Defense wins championships, all that shit. Listen, okay. Offense wins championships. Playing offense in sales wins championships. Prospecting, follow-up, getting aggressive, being the cheetah, not the turtle. That's what wins championships in my game. Okay, in my game. My game wins, Sam, when I'm direct messaging hundreds of people a day, because I know that I got this dad out here that's counting on me, that has dementia, that might not be able to work. I know that, like, today, it's game time. Okay, I don't care. I'm gonna freaking message people until I'm blue in the face. I'm gonna go door to door if I have to. I'm gonna go knock on some doors. I'm gonna do whatever it takes, dude. Like, I barely can sit in this chair because I'm ready to get off this phone and beat some lists to death. Okay, but I don't know. Some of you guys might even have this broke arrogance where you're like, that won't work for me, that, this, that. And you might say like, oh, but this, but that. Bro, that's your leash. Cut the leash. That right there is this leash. You need to hold it out and cut it. Sam, the truth is I believe in you. Sometimes I think more than you believe in you. When I talk to you on the phone, I was freaking fired up. I love hearing what you're doing. I love the habits. I love you waking up and some of the things that you do that we've talked about. But what I don't like is you not taking enough action towards the guy that you told me that you wanted to become. And me as a coach, I would be a freaking fool to sit here and let you get away with that shit. So this is your wake-up call. And I hope that you take it seriously, okay? Now, I want you guys to understand this too. You know, I got a friend who's a championship basketball coach, and he would tell me that, listen, he has a rule. He has a rule. There's in basketball, look, everybody says, defense wins championships, but he would tell me, dude, it was the little things to win a championship that I had to do to win a championship. He said, listen, I knew that if we got the ball past the mid-level court in 2 seconds, we were always playing offense. We were pushing the team back on their heels. What's your 2-second offense drill? What's your drill? For me, top producers, they want the ball. They want to attack every single day. I don't care how successful you are. You still need to prospect for 2 hours a day. You need to have a 7-touch follow-up system. You need to have service after the sale. This will get you 5 to 10 referrals a year. Okay, some of you guys may sense like I got a little frustration on me because I'm kind of talking like almost desperately. You know why? Because I'm desperate for you to really take what I'm saying and really change. I'm desperate for you to understand that at 29 years old, I was living better than most people, but I didn't understand these things. Nobody ever sat down and unpacked these 5 habits for me. Once I started to put so much into myself and build this monster, I'm like, oh my God, if somebody would have just explained these to me, I would have killed it. So I want you to understand, what's my 2-second offense? What's my lead response time? You know, what's my follow-up look like? Do I follow up 1.5 times, Mike? And then I'm like, I get a lead. You know, do I post on social media a couple times here and there? And then I'm like, it's not working. Dude, it could take you a couple of years to build a brand. But you know how powerful it is once you have a brand? So I want to remind you, I don't care how successful you are. You still need to be prospecting every day. Challenge yourself. Are you playing offense or defense in your business? Ask yourself right now, write this down. You don't want motivation. You don't want to win on motivation. You want to win on good freaking habits. You want to win on a solid foundation of being a badass. And the only way that you become that is doing everything we said. Chopping the woods, carrying the boats, mastery over cotton candy. All of those things, man. Number 5, and this is critical. This is super critical. Working in the unseen hours. Okay, this is where I believe that most of you guys you just miss it just a little bit. Okay, high performers use their weekends to get ahead. Low performers use them to escape. Okay, my weekends are built for rejuvenation, learning, reading, getting close to my family, refilling my spiritual buckets. It's like I use that as an opportunity to come into Monday when you're coming in slow, hungover, you know, just missing a couple of things. I can see it in your eyes. You look sleepy. I'm coming in ready to attack, bro. I'm coming in like fresh. Success happens behind the scenes. The best performers, the top performers, they're not out drinking all weekend. They're not out watching a shitload of movies. They're reading, they're preparing, they're strategizing. I want you to write those down. Read, prepare, strategize. Read, prepare, strategize. Okay? They recreate themselves on a daily basis, every week, so they don't repeat the last week's success. They multiply it. Who wants to play multiplication? Or who just wants to play subtraction? It's like, man, I was so sick of just subtracting in my life. I was so sick of looking in the mirror and being like, man, I could put on more muscle. I could do more. I could, you know, and I just started to realize it was me that was holding me back the whole time. You know, when I got with Nate, my trainer, and he started telling me how I needed to eat and all these things, it took me about 3 months of bullshit excuses. Like, I can't eat that. You don't understand my appetite. You don't understand this. You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. Oh man, like I'm not genetically built that way. I can't get that. No, that's that. Dude, listen, it was all bullshit. All of it. I've started to unlock the new version of me. And I feel very good about this recreation that I'm going to do by the end of this year. I'm going to call my shot. I'm going to be 195 pounds, 4% body fat. I'm going to get up to 210, never been up that way, and I'm going to cut, and I'm going to be the most jacked guy in the Elliott group. And I've called my shot for what my business is going to have as far as cash flow. I've called my shot for what my credit score is going to be. I've called my shot for the assets that I'm going to add to our portfolio. I've called my shots on all these things because I am obsessed with being the best in all these areas. So in the unseen hours, I'm spending time looking at my accounting. I'm spending time looking at the things that we're spending our money on. I'm spending time like, oh my God, we spent how much on what? Okay, we could get better on that next month. By the end of this year, we're gonna be dialed in. We're gonna know everything that comes in and out of our business. We're gonna know every little thing. We're gonna get better. Is this exhausting? Yeah. Yeah, you know what else used to be exhausting? Being a freaking loser. Being a person who just like didn't understand this. By the way, guys, I'm throwing a lot at you, but here's how it works. It's called skill stacking. Okay, so like you're just skill stacking. You're just like, you're learning a little bit more about yourself and boom, you feel like you mastered it. And then you find another skill and then boom, you get another. I have a financial coach. I have a CFO, fractional CFO that I hired to coach me. It was one of my biggest holes. I'm like, dude, here's $6K a month. Coach me, train me. Train my brother, train his wife, train my wife. What do we got to do? What do we got to learn? How are we going to do this? I'll be the best student in the room. All you got to do is just tell me one time. You don't even got to tell me twice. I swear to God. Just tell me one time. What do I got to do? How does everybody get there? How do guys like me that are in my situation that make the kind of money I get to this next level? Tell me. What is it? What kind of habits do I need? I literally text my CFO this morning. I'm like, hey, I read the first book that you told me to read. What are the next 2 books that I need? Me and my wife and my brother and his wife, we're going to have our own little book club on financial stuff, on investing. Like that's the family goal. What do I got to do? Okay, guys, you got to learn skill stacking. Maybe that's not the thing that you need to learn right now. Maybe the thing that you need to learn right now is sales, follow-up, mindset, visualizing the goal, and then Sam, just doing the work every day until you become it becomes easy. Here's the truth. Here's how I really got great at what I do, because I'm fully confident I'm one of the best in the world at what I do. First, all this shit was hard. So when I'm talking about it, you're like, holy shit. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot. But now it's easy because I did it so long that the hard stuff became easy. That's the same with all of this stuff that I'm telling you. So don't feel behind, don't feel overwhelmed. I want you to circle a couple of things right now that are your biggest weaknesses. The key thing that you need to understand with this too is I just realized how much time I wasted in my 20s. How much time I wasted in bars, how much time I wasted hungover, how much Saturdays, how much shit that I wasted, and I was still a top performer, which is crazy because I could have been like a world changer. Now my mind is like on something totally different. I'm like, how do we get better? How do we get so good? How do we bring more people to Jesus? How do we do this? Like, I wouldn't even have been thinking about any of that stuff. How do I get so good? People want to be around me and then I can talk to them about God. How do I get so good and then I can teach people some skills that are going to change their life? But I can't teach people if I'm not doing it. My vision has like totally expanded. I'm like, man, how do I get so great that when my nephews are a little older, I can show them all how to be millionaires? How do I, by the time when I'm like, 5, 6, 7 years from now, I'm at an event and I got like 15 nephews and nieces and I stand them all up in a conference and I talk about each individual one and how I helped each individual one become multiple 7-figure earners and producers, all kinds of crazy stuff. How do I do that? Well, they ain't gonna wanna learn from a guy who's not hungry. They're not gonna wanna learn from a guy who isn't the cheetah. They're not gonna wanna learn from a guy who's not who's doing the cotton candy freaking approach, doing what's easy. They're not gonna wanna learn from a freaking guy who's talking about the good old days, but he's not chopping the wood and carrying the water today. The truth is I can tell when you're not doing the work. I can tell what you look like, what kind of discipline blade you have in the gym and outside of the other things too. I can tell. Write these things down. When I come into the week, I want to be 10 times better, not just slightly better. That's my focus every week. How do I get 10 times better this week? So I want to ask you, are you escaping or are you preparing? That's really what I want you guys to focus on in March. Think about those things. Go back through this call. Look, man, I'm going to be honest with you. Out there right now, there's not a lot of people that are doing what you're doing. Sam, the fact that you're on this call just tells me that you want to be great, but for some reason up here, you're bogging yourself down. Here's the truth about people that are in any of your industries. There's not a lot of people that are self-investing in themselves. There's a lot of people that are playing defense right now. There's a lot of people contracting right now because things are getting hard. And then there's guys like us, there's women like us that are on this call that are pushing forward, that are pushing through the pain, that understand that, listen, man, success is going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of intensity, and it's going to take a damn good attitude too. So you're going to have to be a person that's positive. But you're going to also have to be a person that's direct, that has a good attitude, that has good intensity, that's passionate. The word passion just means to sacrifice. Why don't you start sacrificing the things that you don't want to do so you can become the person that you want to become? And it could take a couple of years. I'm not going to be one of these people that tell you, oh, you're going to get rich overnight. You're going to do this overnight. No. And by the way, some people, it happens. Some of you guys have more money than me. Good. I need to learn the hard way and just build for decades. So then that way I'm tough and I don't lose it. Because I've had fast money before and I've just lost it all because I didn't know what I didn't know. So let's just go become the best at what we do. Let's have the best character. Let's have the best integrity. Let's go have fun. Let's go be passionate. Let's go kick ass. Like, let's go kick some butt, man. Let's get off this call and let's see how much action, who can put in the most action. Let's see who can literally call until their freaking eyes bleed. But it's gonna take a lot, man. And I know that everybody's capable of it because I've seen people that came from nothing build some of the coolest stuff in the world. Ernest, what you got?
Man, I'll be honest, man. This last month, I broke a company record. I was recognized yesterday in February for breaking a record in our whole company. And I sent this message to Tommy. And I was like, Tommy, the secret sauce is the Elliott Army. We're in here working every day. So everybody be encouraged, man. Put in the work.
Let's go.
Dedicated. And I'm telling you, it just works. If you work it, it works. So, I just want to encourage everybody because...
Man, I love that.
We get fired up. Y'all got to watch these videos again.
I love that.
I just want to share it, man.
Hey,
Secret sauce, Elliott Army.
Look at that, man. Ernest came so far in the last couple of years, really in the last 15 years. I've known Ernest for like 15 years. Listen, man, you're made for more. I'm telling you right now. There's nothing that you can't accomplish. I swear, I know this sounds cheesy, but you just gotta really, truly put your mind to it. When you go home, be intentional. When you're at work, be intentional. Just be thinking, like, is Evan and Andy Elliott on my shoulders, like those little devil and angels? What would they say? Okay, you're not doing the work, you're not prospecting. I want you to think about me just yelling in your ear. Like, get back on the phone, get the work done, okay? And go out there, build this self-esteem, this self-confidence, man. I'm so freaking proud that you guys get on these calls and you guys are knocking the dust off you every day. Now let's go kick some butt. Thank you, Ernest. All right, guys, you're the true 1%ers. You made it to the end of the video. Let's go. Like, comment, so we know who you are down below, and then share this video to somebody else who needs it. And also turn your notifications on, because we got the fire coming every single day. Amazing. We'll see you at the next video. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.